My name is Tyler David, and you're watching Field of Dreams on ACTN.
Hey everybody, welcome to Field of Dreams on ACTN. I'm Steve David, I'm your host. Today we wake up with a smile on our face and we want to talk about the postmortem of the game. So I brought you the three best analysts in football that would take us through our postmortem of our game against Guyana. Let me take time to introduce them. Jefferson George, welcome to the set, Jefferson.
Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure to be here.
And Dexter Cyrus, welcome to the set, Dexter.
Thanks, Steve.
And we got
Steve.
Anthony Sherwood. Welcome to the set, Anthony.
Steve, it's good to be back, man.
Glad to have you, bud.
Yeah.
We've seen you in a long time.
Appreciate the invite.
But we're glad to have you here. I had to give my viewers the best because they deserve the best. So I went out and looked for you three to come give us a whole good postmortem on the game that just happened a couple of days ago. And we want to share some insight or light on how we feel. And we know, I mean, a win is a win is a win, regardless of how it goes. So don't be too hard on our coach or our players, but let's enjoy this one and let's talk about the good and the bad that we saw. So I'm going to make this a barbershop discussion. I'm going to jump in when you guys going off course. To bring you back on track and to remember that we need the support from everybody out there. So we need to be positive, not all the time, most of the time, to get people going. So open it up. And who wants to start on how you feel about our win and just a general, and then we're going to get into specifics sometime down the road. Come on.
I mean, I'll kick it off, Steve. First, as you mentioned, as you quite rightly mentioned, a win is a win. And to be honest with you, like most football fans in this country, I feel a sense of almost relief that we were actually able to start off the campaign in such a positive way. So kudos to the boys, kudos to the technical staff and everybody involved. I think about the repercussions of not getting a result in last night's game. And I think it could have been absolutely disastrous, to be honest with you. If we're looking to get into the intricacies of the performance and really analyze the performance, I think most people would say that certainly there are some things that we can improve on, absolutely. But for a first-time outing, having not really played competitively in almost a year, I mean, I for one, I'm really happy that we're off to a good start.
How do you feel, Jeff?
Yeah, I think the 3 points, I mean, we went in to get 3 points, and as you said, in that regard, mission accomplished. All right, and I think there is, Tony mentioned, the looking at it, not getting those 3 points, having St. Vincent in the group who already put points on the board.
St.
Kitts, right? That would have put us in a kind of difficult situation. In a group format like these, If you're not playing, I guess you'd want the other teams to probably draw, so that it gives you opportunity to come back and stuff like that. But last night, good result for the team. I think it's going to do well for their confidence, which is most important. And as we continue the discussion, we'll pick apart some more of the fine details.
The points for me after the first half, the points was already, for me, sewn up after 45 minutes. After 90 minutes, for me, the clean sheet was a plus. My disappointment was in the fact that we couldn't really hold on to the ball, right? And also get another goal in the second half. It was good to see that we could have got 3, whether or not the goalkeeper made a mistake or what. We got 3. We got 3 points. We kept a clean sheet. That, as Anthony is saying, that is going to spill over now and give the boys loads of confidence going into the Puerto Rico game. The man management of the players as far as recovery and all these things are concerned, it's up to the technical staff. The concern might be based on Bato had to come out with a little pull and the yellow cards, right? But we'll get into all those other things after, but the 3 points, the clean sheet, right? Those 2 things were rested very good with me, right? It's the first game in the group. Coming off of the game against America, now everybody skeptical, everybody iffy. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. I think we could have, if we had a different approach going forward, I think we could have done more, right? But I thought we might have had to work a little harder for it. About 20 minutes in, I realized, Trinidad ain't playing so well, but this guy and his team, they ain't really saying nothing. Now, the few times that they reached in the last third, if they had quality, they might have pipped 1 or 2. They might have actually gotten 1 or 2. I think they hit the post thing or whatever. So if they had more quality in the final third, they might have pipped 1 or 2. But after 15, 20 minutes, I wasn't seeing us losing that game. No.
And just to piggyback on what Dexter is saying, I think a lot of that came from probably our perception of Guyana, especially in the Gold Cup. Because the truth of the matter is that the last time we played them would have been in the Gold Cup. And we, we scraped by with a 1-1 result.
A come from behind draw.
A come from behind draw. In fact, it was a fantastic finish by Molino. I think Levi played him a great ball. But they had us on the run. And that was, in a sense, against a full-strength Trinidad and Tobago team.
Yeah.
So I think everybody was really a little apprehensive, because the last memory that you have of this Guyana team is a team that was actually running us, And so to see them look the way they did last night it's good for us. I'll put it this way. When the game started, as Dexter said, in the first 10 minutes, you could tell that this was a different team, quite frankly, with a different approach.
9 debutants.
Yeah.
9 debutants.
But
So
you
literally.
think that maybe Guyana didn't have the players they had then, because the English league is running. They have a lot of Englishmen who usually be on Guyana's team that wasn't. So we've seen a different.
If you weigh up Guyana's preparation and ours, Guyana has been in a camp. Guyana has pumped a lot of money into the football. Guyana has been in a camp since September.
Okay.
Since September, and they pumping. I think they have a facility now with grass, AstroTurf, and a sand pitch, and Guyana has pumped a lot of money into the football.
Yeah.
Remember, Guyanese dollars is paid with
Yeah, well, those 13 offshore wells. They're dealing in US now.
or dealing with US dollars?
Yeah, they're dealing with US now.
Absolutely.
Anthony,
There's a lot of money in.
a lot of money in Guyana now.
But if you look at the expectation, as Anthony mentioned, I think they themselves would have been disappointed with the eventual result. I thought having had so much time, now again, the press in Guyana, they had concerns going into the game based on the omissions. Now, the omissions were, they weren't something that was arbitrary. The coach selected those players because he believed that they would have been able to deliver what he wanted them to do, right? Being in preparation for that length of time, again, we have to take the effects of the COVID restraints and what that translates to on the field. And in different areas, it looks different. I think when we begin to look at the game on a whole, the opportunities that we got where we scored, there were errors, right? One set piece, the Levi forcing the error and taking the score, and then you had a real howler by the goalkeeper for the third goal, right? If we take the penalty out, other than that, the chances that we would have created, we didn't have any real A chances. Other than that, the goalkeeper didn't make a save other than those that were gifted, right? So when you look at that, I know that is something that will be concerning. It should be a concern for us as we go forward to play more teams. This game as well would have been Guyana's first competitive game, again, after a long period, although they would have had practice games. And they themselves are going to get better. So for me, I'm thinking that it was a good day for us to meet Guyana. When he brought on the younger players in the second half, they were much better, actually, going forward.
We also got a little spark in the end with Sam. Sam looked like because he got two half chances.
Yeah.
He got two half chances, the header and the one what he hit just wide. Didn't sort out his feet well enough, but he got two half chances, and we got a little spark there. He actually looked like he could score.
Yeah.
All right. At that time, Judah also showed some of his dribbling ability and that quality that he has on the ball. But all in all, this is a second half that I think we should. You don't want to repeat that performance. No, I think we want to build on that.
What do you guys think about our team selection? Let's discuss that for a minute.
Team selection.
Yeah, our team.
I was surprised.
If we could start by, in terms of the, before we go to the selection, but tactics, I think we agreed in terms of last day, Terry would be conservative,
Yeah.
right? He played 4 guys who either of them could have played center back,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So he didn't have intentions of them overlapping,
Right.
things like that. They were very
Yeah.
steady. Aubrey, Hackshaw, the only person we didn't have in that was Hackshaw, actually.
Right, but
in our,
we had Bato and
prediction
Primus.
last show, right? Bato
Primus.
and Primus playing the centre backs, who I thought they were quite good. They weren't tested a great deal, but again, very steady in the back. Midfield, again, pretty much a similar setup, although you went to a flat three central midfielders with Levi and Jovin, right, with Telfer on top. Strange that Cyrus mentioned Brent Sam, because he's a natural number 9. I don't think Telfer was comfortable. He didn't look comfortable in the position.
You want to run the channels.
Yeah, playing,
And I'm
with the back to the goal.
thinking based on the amount of long balls that I saw, that would have been a direct instruction from the coach to play him in that way. But it kept breaking down, coming back down at us. Tougher opposition, giving away the ball like that all the time. That could hurt us.
But we in our breakdown on the team and selection and stuff, we did not tell for that at all.
Yeah, we had Telfer on the right side.
We had him out on the right.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
side.
we had Telfer on
In
the right side.
Yeah,
We
right.
had Levi up front.
We had Levi at top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and they switched that on.
They
us.
switched that
Yeah.
on.
And but that looked good though.
Well, again, we always knew that if we had put Levi as the 9, it wouldn't have been his strongest position. He played in a position where
Absolutely.
he is comfortable, normally coming from the left, but obviously that gives him a shooting opportunity, which he took about 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't get them on target, but again, you could have seen what he was trying to do with it coming onto his left foot.
so give the coach credit for that because
We do,
were saying
yeah.
we weren't sure how Levi would
Line up, right? But again, the situation
But
there,
it-
or the thing to solve
it nullified
is the
Telfer
9,
too, yeah. It
right?
nullified
Because Telfer
And Levi
was
could play
not
out there. Both of them
comfortable
could play. Yeah.
playing with his back to the goal. He couldn't hold it up. The balls that he was getting as well wasn't quality balls as well, right? So you can credit that the balls weren't really into him. But he's a player who likes to play with the ball. Again, coming from deep with it, he's quite good. Similar to Levi, right? But playing with his back to the goal, I don't think that worked out pretty well for him.
Nah. Also, Steve, the pitch looked like it was a bit hard to maneuver.
Yeah, absolutely. The
The
pitch was.
the pitch looked like it. When we reached in the final third, on numerous occasions, the ball hopped up a couple of times when our players go to shoot or pass or cross. The pitch looked like it was a little hard to maneuver. Yeah, so we
I think there's definitely
take-
some dilemmas that the coach will confront as we go forward. And one of the bigger ones that I see, for instance, is the fact that you have Levi who's playing in Greece and his starting point is out there on the right-hand side, allowing him to cut inside and finish. I also look at Jovin, for instance, and Jovin seems to prefer that particular position as well. In fact, during the game, you could see where they were constantly switching.
Right.
And so I don't know if that was an instruction that was being given by the coach or that was just an initiative by both those players, But at some point, if you have two players who believe that their best performances will come from a particular position, then I could see where there is a little bit of a dilemma that potentially could arise, between those two guys.
And we still haven't worked out the number 9, the pointer,
Yeah.
who has to hold that ball up for men to join. We didn't work that out yet. We didn't play that kind of football as yet.
No.
Right. We're not going to play that football.
At least not with Terry Frank.
But I mean, do you see any person who was left out in the starting lineup should be in for just that? Maybe the
For
number
the
9?
number 9?
Yeah.
Well, actually, we didn't call it like that.
Yeah.
Willis Plaza is a natural, more of a natural number 9. But again,
He runs at people as well with the ball.
no, but if we have to pick one of the guys in the lineup to say, based on the tools that he has, who's going to probably give you the best when he's at his best, is probably Willis Plaza, right? But again, we know from the last outing against Police, he doesn't seem to be at his best in terms of fitness, right? So again, the coach is looking at him and came up again with the same personnel that we came up with in the last show, really. But again, Tony mentioned it. Any sort of rotation, somebody's going to have to be has to be a little bit sacrificed, if you call it that way, to have the best player on the field.
So you guys want to take credit that Fenwick listened to your show?
I believe
and
so.
pick his team.
Yeah, I believe he did take a peep at it.
Okay, so you heard that. So we're gonna take a break now, but when we get back, we would talk about. Well, let's come back with the press conference and hear what Fenwick had to say, and then we go from there. Viewers will be right back. So, break.
That we walked away with a great win, 3 goals in the bag, as they would say. But there was nothing about the performance that would suggest to you that going into the next game, we have a sense of what this team is going to do.
we, from those encounters together, and this was a North-South game to open the season.
So the team might be playing well, as we always say with Trinidad and Tobago.
Futsal did that great for me.
Okay, hey everybody. Welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. My name is Steve David. I'm your host.
Obviously very pleased with the result. This is my players that want to make football and the football fans back in Trinidad and Tobago proud again about our performances. I can't say anything too high about them. The performance was great. I'm really upset that we missed a penalty in the fashion that we did miss in the rebound. But the general performance was excellent. Very professional, organised, structured. But again, one step at a time. Got another game coming up in 3 days. But I'm pleased with my team, and I'm hoping the public at large back in Trinidad will get behind our players, back us.
How important it was for us to maintain our composure and start on this right footing?
Absolutely, we had to keep our composure. You know, we're working with a very high press, which we've done in Trinidad over the last 12 months. From that high press, it's 100 miles an hour, and then we've got to slow it down and be composed when we're on the ball. I thought our passing and movement was excellent. When we were direct, we were very direct and got our goals. Set play worked very well with the in-swing and free kick. Obviously pleased, but this is just the first of hopefully many. One step at a time, get behind us.
Looking at Puerto Rico now, looking to continue this momentum?
We'll be looking at them tomorrow. We've got them on, thanks to the normalisation committee, we've got WeScout, so we'll be watching them tomorrow, so we'll prepare for them properly.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. You just heard what Terry Fenwick had to say, and let's take a feed off of that. And do you agree with him, or do you think that he missed the ball in some way, shape, or form? Or?
I think that he dropped the ball. I think that he dropped the ball with certain things, but there are things that I can give him credit for, and there are things that was very clear and glaring, right? Like, for instance, the general performance. Somebody who didn't know the scoreline couldn't come in the second half and look at the game and know that one of these teams were leading 3-0. You couldn't see that. You couldn't tell that, right? As a matter of fact, Guyana actually tried to play more football than us, and they tried to build the ball up more than us, right? In the second half, right? I think that the Trinidad players did not manage the whole game well. I think we were more professional in the first 45 minutes, and second half we were very unprofessional. It spilled over onto our play on the field, right? Brent Sam and Judah came on and gave us spark because they were on the bench and they were eager.
True.
They were eager to come on the field, so they gave us spark. But other than that, you know, I mean, I'm not feeling like, you know, right, we play such good football and we won. I'm not feeling that way. I'm happy that we got the result. I'm happy that we kept that clean sheet. But the overall performance, no. And I think the mindset going into the halftime, based on having 3 goals, I think the mindset would have been different if it was 2. But having 3 goals, I am seeing where our boys realize that this team can't score 4 goals. So they definitely can't win the game. And I think that spilled over onto going into the second half, and that made us very unprofessional. You know, very, very, very unprofessional.
What do you guys think? Because, I mean, sometimes it's good to play bad and lose.
Absolutely, Steve.
Not good and win. I mean, not bad and lose, bad and win. That's good and lose, right? So.
I echo what Dexter's saying, because the thing sometimes when you watch football is that you're trying to get a sense of what the next outing potentially could look like.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is that there was nothing that happened other than the fact that we walked away with a great win, 3 goals in the bag, as they would say. But there was nothing about the performance that would suggest to you that going into the next game, we have a sense of what this team is going to do.
Right.
I think we're all looking at it from something of a coaching or purist standpoint, and I think we all want to get to the point where we're seeing our national team win games, but there must be something about the way we play that gives us a sense of optimism going forward. I think Terry Fenwick has a real dilemma, and I say that because I know for a fact that most of the players within his squad want to play football. I don't know, as we talked about, I don't think that's Terry's objective in any of this. And maybe it really shouldn't be. His job as the senior team coach is to get us as far as we can possibly go. And so convincing guys like Kaleem Highland, Levi Garcia,
the Punagaran boy. The Punagaran boy looks like he wants to put the ball down.
They want to put the ball down on the floor and play. But if the instruction coming from the coach is he talked about it in the press conference. When they were direct, it's odd. You don't hear coaches talking too much about being direct in this day and age. But again, it's 3 points. I suppose we could be sitting here right now talking about the absolute disaster that Trinidad and Tobago football confronts based on a loss, for instance. And we're not having that conversation. So for me, it's a little optimism as we go forward.
Especially with the second game so soon.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Terry's an Englishman. That's the style, man. And he's born into it and he live it.
But see, that is not English football today, though. You watch English football today.
That's not English football today.
It's changed.
English football today is not Englishmen. It's people from all over the world.
It's true. Very
So that's why it's like that. But
good point.
But Englishmen play like that. I played with them in the U.S.
And you're absolutely right, because during that time when Terry Fenwick would have coached Jablotech,
right,
that's what he played.
That's it.
If I get to the interview, let me start on what I agree with. I agree with him, get the fans back on, right? And I think winning always will have the fans, a little bit buoyed and a little bit optimistic. Not just a win, but a win by 3 goals and a clean sheet, right? That, again, Cyrus mentioned it. If you didn't see that game and you hear the score, you're thinking, nice, things looking up. Secondly, the interview was a little bit PR, right? And I understand that as well. You want to get, your plugs in. And he did quite a bit of that. On the football side of it, firstly, the very high press, that wasn't visible in the game. Right? If that was the instruction, there was no time in that game that we were high press in Guyana. There's no time. Right? Tony mentioned it again with the being direct. He said that it was when they were direct, it worked well. Again, I don't know what's the plan by being direct, if it means just to get the team up the field. And if that is being the plan, to go direct to get the team on the field, okay, right. That was done. If you want to give that to him in a plus corner, we'll take that, right?
Well,
and a lot of times the English deal with that.
My interpretation is, let's get direct, is if you can get there with 1 ball, let's do 1 and not 2. And if you can get there in 10 balls, then that...
Right. But again, when you do that, I made the point before, the person that we had at the end of that long ball was not connecting. Either the ball was not well played, right? Because there was no time in the game that, let's say, Guyana was pushing up to the half field where there was room in behind for him to run. It was just putting the ball down and hoping that he gets on the end of it, right? So for me, looking at as a coach, that I'm saying, well, if we go long, the balls need to be of a particular quality, and then the target has to receive the ball, right, for it to work for me. Those are the things that I'm looking at. But to another point that Tony mentioned, I think what the coach has in his mind, and he mentioned that against the US as well, in terms of playing that high press, that high intensity game, we don't have players who are going to be comfortable doing that. One of the players who I think last night was a bit, for me, was a bit below par was Jovan Jones. And again, mentioned already, you could see him looking for ways to get into the game, right? He was moving off the line to go into the midfield certain times in the first half. He was trying to switch with Levi to operate from the other side. None of the adjustments that he made, which seemed to be, it seemed to be really an inventive on his own, because the team didn't respond to it. So when he went inside, we were playing without somebody on the left side of the midfield. Normally, if it's something that is planned within the structure of the team, somebody would normally move, and there's room for that. But Terry's football isn't that. Terry's football is basically stiff. It's rigid. Again, last night it worked, right? Set up your back four, have your midfielders. Again, even the support that we spoke about last game going towards the number 9, that wasn't there because they were playing, the 3 midfielders, central midfielders were playing very close together and low, as opposed to one of them trying to go close to the runner, and we didn't see that last night. So.
Let me make one point to the viewers. We keep saying last night, viewers, because this is pre-recorded, because when you do see the show, which is Monday night, we would have played against Puerto Rico on Sunday. So we're not talking about Puerto Rico game, we're talking about Guyana's game. All right, go ahead, guys. You think we need to change style or do you think we play the right style for Guyana and we win and we got to be happy about this? Or do we think we need to make some adjustments?
Yeah, I think some adjustments.
And what are those adjustments we should make?
I think some adjustments need to be made.
Okay, what do you think?
I think we need to. I think we need to keep the ball more. All right, and I think the outlet pass, the deepest pass into the front man, needs to have more quality. It needs to go into him so he can keep it. Right. But the build-up play, I think a little more emphasis on that, because of the fact that if we're playing 4-5-1, that one man, we have to give him the opportunity to get in position before the ball goes into him. We have to, if the ball is coming around, we have to give him the opportunity to come around. The ball is going to the next side, we have to give him the opportunity. So we need possession here, and he has to know, while we are playing here, get in position so that we can play the deepest pass into him. I think we need to work on that. But that, I am thinking that the ground was a bit hard to maneuver. So that's why our quality, coming from our quality players wide, which was Jovan and Levi, I think that's why our quality wasn't top class. I saw the ball pop up a couple times when they go to cross and shoot and that kind of thing. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? Based on the ground, right? When we look at when you size up teams, Levi's side was the side to use. We were trying to come down Jovan's side. I'm thinking they're giving Jovan his respect, so they want to get the ball there. But Levi's side was the side to use. That is the side where we was making all the inroads. That is the side where you're seeing where Levi could take any one of them, 1v1, 2. He could take 2, 3 men. Let's go down that side. We have to understand these little tactics. We have to understand these little things at international level. the result at international level, football has gone past results at international level. Teams want to play well because, okay, we have to play 4 games. We come out of this group, then we go into
Another group.
a playoff or a hex. Or something. Another hex.
Pre-hex.
A pre-hex.
Yeah.
A octagon or whatever. There's 8 teams, I think, right? We can't continue with that kind of performance and just feel as though we could just keep getting good results. That is only because of the opposition. That has nothing to do with we playing good football and we get 3 points and 3 goals because of our football that we played. That wasn't because of that. That was because of the opposition. Guyana was, it was easy. If I think about the times when I was playing, that guy and his team getting double figures, I'm getting 10. Sure, they're getting 10. I played on the team with Anthony. That crop of players with myself and Anthony and Carrington and Nixon and Angus, even Dwarka, that crop of players, that guy and his team getting 10.
Right. Well, I want to ask Anthony, you think Levi, because Levi came under you, I know that. You spent some time with him. And I thought that when he first came on, I said, somewhere down the road, that's where our team has to focus on that. Levi is the man to take us to wherever he has to. Do you think he's ready for that?
I think so. I've had 1 or 2 little exchanges with him, and one of the things that struck me the most is the fact that he has now embraced that responsibility. I think he did an interview somewhere where he talked about the fact that he wants to be one of the guys that the younger players in Trinidad and Tobago are looking to as a source of inspiration. And he knows that the only way that's going to happen is if his performances with his club in Europe are of a very high level, and 2, if Trinidad and Tobago football is going further and further and further. And as it relates to this scenario, that means getting deeper and deeper into the CONCACAF qualification for this World Cup. So I think he's all about it. He's fired up. He's excited to come home. I think he sees himself as one of the guys that's going to be relied upon very, very heavily. And the truth is, I think he's very, very, very capable of being certainly the catalyst to make it, to get us excited about the football. You know that for a fact, Steve. We like to see players who are exciting, good 1v1 players, guys who can finish. And I think he fits that bill, So if he looks back at his own performance, I would almost guarantee that he would say to you that there were things that he thought he could have done a bit better. But the fact that he's gotten on the score sheet is very, very important for us and for him as well. And what I thought was interesting is that when we got the penalty, I got the impression that
he was going to take it.
Yeah. As soon as
he was going to take it. Yeah.
You could see he picked the ball up.
And he's going straight to take it.
Yeah. And then, Joven, obviously, we lost a little footage there, but then Joven ended up with it. And I thought, obviously, what Joven did in that scenario was it reminds me of Mario Balotelli. In a practice game, Man City was playing against, I think it was LA Galaxy. Yeah, Mancini pulled him off the field one time. He no compromise, And it kind of looked a little similar, It was almost as if, maybe that's not the kind of attitude we need right now, especially of one of the most senior players, one of the leaders of this particular group.
We got to go on break. All right, viewers, we'll be right back after a short break.
So if we have to play the guys who are active, if we have to play the guys with the most experience, Telfa can play from out there. He can do it at his natural position also, but Levi looked way better suited to be a 9. I know that he wants to play from out there too. It looks as though Joven wants to play from out there too.
It's a dilemma.
Well,
We, from those encounters together, and this was a North-South game to open the season.
So the team might be playing well, as we always say with Trinidad and Tobago.
Futsal did that great for me.
Okay, hey everybody. Welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams and ACTN. My name is Steve David. I'm your host.
Okay, viewers, welcome back. All right, guys, let's this segment open up to, you can touch any area that you think that we didn't talk about and that we want to shed some light with the viewers on, or things we should expect.
The penalty for me, right? I mean, we missed the penalty, so I mean we're disappointed, right? But a goalkeeper making 3 saves on a penalty, you have to give kudos to the goalkeeper.
Right.
Now, if we just say the goalkeeper made 3 saves and we didn't see what actually happened, we might still come down on Jovenia. But a goalkeeper making 3 saves, now, first save, when the ball came back to Joven faked him and put him to lie down, and he made a reflex save with his hand. The ball dropped there and got up and made a reflex save with his foot.
Yeah, but the question, Dexter, is whether or not Joven should have finished it after the rebound came to him.
Right. What I'm saying is the goalkeeper made 3 saves. Whatever decision Joven Jones made, the goalkeeper made 3 saves. That's something that you don't see. Now, the goalkeeper 7 minutes later, goalkeeper 7 minutes later went from hero to 0. Right, the same goalkeeper went from hero to 0. But you give kudos to the guy. Give kudos to the guy. All right, Joven Jones should have known better. He could have done better, but give kudos to the guy. He made 3 saves. Right.
Well, as your goalkeeper, where did our goalkeeper come from? I never seen this guy in my life. I never heard of him. And boom, he showed up, and he put
active.
Marvin on the bench. He put
Steve. He's active.
No, he's traded, but he didn't play. He's not playing right now.
Right.
Right. But we mentioned him the last show.
Further up.
Playing in no, he played for Trinidad as well. He played for us
against Anguilla. The 15-0.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, look at that. He had 2 wins on his belt. You know, he did play now.
November 10th. November the 10th, 2019.
Yeah.
Cap is a cap.
Yeah.
Cap is a cap.
Our concern was what the assessment would be, right? Again, we have those who we have been accustomed to, and he would have been still somewhat an unknown quantity, right? He dealt with his stuff he had to deal with last night. I saw one thing. He seems to expose that first post quite a bit, even on crosses and stuff. I see him giving quite a bit of the first post away. I don't know if that's something that he works on across there, but solid enough. He was communicating well. His distribution was nice. Choice and decision making. He looked a bit short though, next to Mato and these guys. That was something that I observed. But other than that, I think he had a decent outing. Not clean sheet.
One of the bright spots for me was the new player, the guy from England.
Daniel Phillips.
Yeah. I thought he looked potentially.
Did a lot of work.
He
did
could
a
be
lot of work in that middle there.
In the future. He's strong, he's athletic. And on a bumpy pitch, I thought he handled the situation as good as can be expected. Because I could tell you, he ain't experiencing a pitch like that in England, as we know.
No, but before England.
He's a young guy. He's playing at 1 foot, Steve. Yeah. And I think Watford's doing well in the championship right
They're
now.
second right now. They're coming up.
So
right?
they're a contender for getting into the Premier League. And to have a player like that who made the decision to come back and play for Trinidad, I think is a bright spot. But I thought he did really, really well.
The Agaron boy too.
Yeah, Agaron was good.
The Agaron boy actually showed that he wants to go for the ball. He wants the ball all the time.
But does he really have, Dexter, the quality when you think about going forward? Guyana, we just can't use Guyana as a
measuring stick.
Yeah, we cannot.
But last night, the Agaron boy was good.
Right.
Last night, the Daniel Phillips boy was good. I think in midfield there, the captain looked like the one with the little weary legs.
Yeah.
Because those are two other boys.
We know that, and that's why one of the concerns was who's going to play with Khalid.
Yeah.
Right? And we got it right. 2 young boys, 19 and 20 year olds, and again, who was able to, again, based on opposition, give the type of energy and intensity that's required in a midfield at that level.
Yeah.
Tony mentioned horses for courses, again, at higher opposition. What they're going to look like, we still don't know. But the confidence, having played in a game, get a victory under your belt, will serve them very well going forward.
I could see that one position, Punanjaron's position, at least where he started, being the position where somebody potentially could come in. And I think a guy like Dwayne Mockett might be a fit there, depending on how we look going forward. But I think that is the one area that I feel in that central three, I think that's the one position that's really up for grabs based on what we've seen in this short game.
I think Highland should go there, sit there.
No, well,
I think Highland should just sit there.
As we're going through with
putting Highland on top of that inverted triangle to try to get forward and come back.
Don't think that's his position.
That's not his position.
Yeah.
But again, it will all tie into what the coach wants. And I think that is why, again, that is Terry's DNA. You will see young players who can do the running, particularly if Kalim has to be on the field, right?
But we said that.
You mentioned Mockett, and Mockett is a player who wants to play on the ball, he wants to get on it, he wants to
absolutely
connect passes. That is not Terry's football, right? And I think we have to keep that in the back of our minds to expect the type of teams that he's going to put on the field. Again, we mentioned before about adjustments. What type of adjustment need to be made? I don't think you're going to see much adjustments. Again, Terry teams, the fullbacks are going to be in place. They're not going to be going up the field, at least in possession, right? When the team is advanced high in the other team's third, right? But I think that is going to be the basic structure of how football looks under Terry Fenwick. Getting results in this first game too, again, will just kind of consolidate his own thinking in terms of what he wants to do as he goes forward. Getting that better, because we can improve that as well, right? One of the things in terms of playing out, because although you may have your outlet route, which is that ball played forward, Dexter mentioned, you must possess the ability to be patient at times, to give the number 9 the time to get in position. That may have been why some of those long passes went astray, because it wasn't set up well, and you're probably trying to go before it's ready.
Let me throw in another bone in the ring here for you guys to chip on. What happens when Molino is back? And is he going to be able to make this team?
Yeah.
That's a good.
Absolutely.
And who is usually coming in for?
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah, I think Molino behind the center forward.
So who is he coming in for? Who are you taking on?
I might take out the Punagar.
Yeah. So Khalim would probably be the deeper of the three.
Let Khalim sit.
Molino on one side, the English boy.
Yeah.
I say English boy, he's trying to make a national player, but the guy who's based at Watford, right? I think that's probably going to be the three going forward.
Yeah.
With, again, Highland sitting in a position that he is more accustomed to playing.
So you put Highland to sit, and oh yeah, but you still have Joven and
Well, Joven and Levi
Yeah,
will
playing
be on
as
the
normal.
side of the
Yeah,
field.
playing
Or, or Telfa,
Yeah.
depending on where you want to play Levi.
Molino coming behind Telfa.
Or Levi.
No, Levi has to stay wide, man. Levi can't come in the middle.
You know, Levi has a number 9 on his back playing for EK, I think.
We know that. But again, one of the things that the game against Guyana showed as well, for me, I think another plug for Terry, he got that one right.
Yeah.
Right? If it's a player, because he produced goals from out wide.
Right.
There is no guarantee that he's going to produce goals playing in the 9, as Telfa did. Telfa was very quiet, and again, I attribute that to him not being really comfortable. He didn't look like he enjoyed that game. You know, and again, there are going to be games like that where players, because of what the tactics would be playing in a position that they're not very comfortable playing, that they may not favor, but because of the structure of the team, you know, you play where the team needs you, basically.
Let me give you guys some facts of life. There's some players who are very comfortable playing close to the line, going and coming in, and there's others who can't. The line scares them. Levi is very comfortable coming in on the lines and breaking behind. He can do that. Down in the middle, I don't think he can anchor down there. Well, maybe he can, because, I mean, if he's a striker, yes, he can, but he's good at that. We should keep him because he makes all his magic happens coming in on that line.
He was the main creator. He was the main
catalyst.
creator. That's what I'm saying.
I think if we flip it, I think Telfa can be good out there too, right?
Okay.
But I think Levi can play a better 9 than Telfa.
No, well, it's not a 9 for me.
I don't think
what
Levi, honestly, I don't think Levi wants to be in that position.
No, he don't want to be in that position. But what I'm saying is,
if push comes to shove.
Right. If we remember, we pulling and tugging at situations because we don't have a 9. Obviously, he's not going to start Sam.
Yeah.
Right? So if we have to play the guys who are active, if we have to play the guys with the most experience, Telfa can play from out there. He can do it. That's his natural position also. But Levi looks way better suited to be a 9. I know that he wants to play from out there too. It looks as though Joven wants to play from out there too.
It's a dilemma.
Well,
the coach has to come up with the coach has to...
Yeah.
Tony mentioned the dilemma. Tony mentioned the dilemma. Now, this is my take on it. I am settled with Levi playing from wide, either side, right? Because he's effective when he went on the left, when he switched with Joven. Again, he created 2 opportunities going on his side. So,
right.
I mean, the problem or the position that right now we seem not to be able to sort out is the 9. Moving the player who's most effective wide to put him on the 9,
yeah.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think, remember we said Telfa here and Jones here?
Yes.
So we know that both of them can be effective from there.
We know that. But again,
so
come to think about it, the chances that we created because of Levi.
Yeah.
Levi looks as though he can take anybody down that side. He actually looks as though he can take anybody down that side. Yeah. So if we're looking for the outlet ball, instead of going into the 9, we go into Levi. Because he looks like he could take get it to him, and obviously he's going to get the team into the next half. He's going to get the team into the last third.
Yeah, we did some of that. Khalid, playing out some to him as well.
But as you look forward, as it relates to that number 9 position, I feel a little optimistic because I think Dexter mentioned when Brent Sam came in, he looked like he has some appetite.
Yeah. He got 2 tough chances.
Yeah.
Positioning himself very well too.
And for whatever it's worth, I mean, in some of these games that have been played locally, he seems to be one of the guys that's always on the scoreboard. He's been banging in goals. And then you have Plaza. you know, who obviously is probably very short on match fitness, as most of the local guys would be. But in those three guys, I think you have some good competition for that number 9 spot. So for me, the adjustment may not necessarily be Levi going up front. I think it's either Brent Sam or eventually a Plaza.
Who will be able to be served by
Yes.
Levi.
Let me tell you, the last number 9 we had over the years, well, the last one we had in that position was Stern John. We didn't have anything after him.
Kenwin.
Kenwin was that, but the production,
Right.
he didn't produce. Like, I'm talking about somebody who every game you can depend on.
Still was the man, yeah.
Steve, you all gave Kenwin a tough time, but I'm telling you, Kenwin's bread and butter was dealing with a ball coming from wide areas. And if you don't have guys within your setup who can provide you with that kind of service, then he's not going to be as effective. That's the truth.
Kenwin showed in the Gold Cup the level that he can play at.
Absolutely.
When Kenwin plays well, Trinidad and Tobago plays well. When Kenwin doesn't play well, it affects the rest of the team. But that number 9 position does that.
But it's not playing well. It's putting the ball in the goal.
And Stern went through his periods here locally when he was getting a lot of stick, if you recall, as forwards normally do. You know, so I mean, listen, that's the reason why goal scorers are paid what they're paid, because it's the most difficult position to find that you know.
You could go from hero to zero.
Absolutely.
And we needed one on Trinidad and our team since Stern John vacated that position.
Yes.
And we haven't had a prolific goal scorer since then.
No, we haven't.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, we need a goal scorer.
So I mean.
But I think Levi ready for that. I think he can. He has to understand that goal scoring is not just playing; it's a responsibility.
True.
Yeah. All right.
It's not just about playing.
All right. I have to take the last minute here because you're right about goal scoring and so on and so on. But we still, goal scorers might touch the ball twice in the game, but one is a goal. And they don't need a lot of touches. Okay. So now the reason I want this extra minute is because our fallen brother, Larry Joseph, birthday is April 3rd, which is Saturday, and is the birthday party celebration for him at La Brea Recreation Ground, right in the corner of the junction of La Brea, at 4 p.m. So all the viewers out there who wants to come out and show their face and give the support, please do. La Brea Ground at the junction in La Brea at 4 p.m. on April 3rd, Saturday. Okay, guys, I thank you guys for being here. You guys always educate me so much, and I'm going back with some education this morning again. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. ACTN, thanks for the opportunity. Viewers, thank you for tuning in every Monday night, and we repeat on a Tuesday at 1 and Saturday at 1. Facebook page, we have that. You can check us out. Email address, philodreamtd@gmail.com. You can drop us a line. This show has ended. Go in peace. My name is Steve David. Good night.